It is the opening day of Imagination Camp at the Harris-Elmore Genoa Library. I am Queen Dawn of the Fairies and Knight Emily of the Knight Court.
For our closed helmets, you'll need your 2 pieces of poster board, either a hole punch or an exacto knife, your scissors, and then your 2 gold clasps. For the shield, you'll need your shield template, tape or a stapler, your extra piece of cardboard for the back, a pen, and some markers. And you can also look at your worksheet that has what different symbols mean. Our first activities today are going to be some knight helmets and a shield. And so this knight helmet is called a close helmet because it has a cap-shaped top and then it has this guard right here. And it would actually be worn with a metal piece that would cover your neck, and it's from about the 16th century. So the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to cut on the lines here so that you have some paper still left at the bottom. You can see where the line is to cut to. After you've cut that out, then we are going to fold it together and staple. So you're going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the papers, and you're going to staple them all together in the center. There we go. And then you're going to do that same thing again. And one thing you want to make sure is that all of your papers are going the same direction. So you want them all to be going on top of each other. Does that make sense? So you 1, 2, 3, 4, all each going on top of each other. So you're going to do that 3 times. So on your hat you'll have 3 sets of 4 or 5 of these all stapled together. Yes. So after you do that, then you're going to staple 2 of them together like this. So once again, you're going to want to make sure that they're layered over top of each other or under each other. I'll show you in a second. So you can see all of my little paper pieces are on top of each other. And then for the third one, we're just going to staple it down here at the bottom so that the bottom of the bowl is lined up correctly, and you can do a couple staples there. Ta-da! And so that should fit on the average kid's head. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to hole punch our guard in the 2 corners. And I'm going to line those up, and if you don't have a hole punch, you can always use a exacto knife. So I'm going to line those up, and I'm going to hole punch in the hat. Where I want my guard and my hat to line up. And then I'm going to push one of the 2 push pin clasps that you should have in your bag. And do the same thing for the other side. And then voila, you have your own closed helmet. Now for the shield, you can decorate the shield however you want, and the only really step to this is that you're going to want to put a piece of cardboard on the back, and you can staple that or tape that so that you have something to hold when you're going to block your enemies. And my shield, you can look at the descriptions in your packet, but each symbol on a shield meant something different. And so we call this sometimes a coat of arms because knights would put symbols on their shields to show who they were when they were unrecognizable in their full regalia, in their full outfit. And so eventually they began passing them down from family to family, and you actually had to register your coat of arms with the government so they knew that who you were with. You couldn't just pretend to be someone. So for mine, I have red, and the squiggly line means water. And so that means that I am from a brave family from the water. And then the sun is a symbol for strength. And actually it means, the red means warrior. So I'm a warrior from the water with lots of strength.
Everybody knows the story of Jack and the Beanstalk, but if you forgot it, we're going to give you a little recap. Jack had a cow that he had to sell to raise some money for his family. And his mother sent him out to the market to go sell the cow. He ended up selling it for some magic beans. His mom was so upset that she threw him out the window, and the next morning a beanstalk had grown in the backyard. Jack decided to be a curious boy. He climbed up the beanstalk to see what was going on. Once he got to the top, he found out that it was a giant's castle. And the giant wasn't very friendly. He had a chicken and a harp that would sing, and the chicken would lay golden eggs. Jack decided to take the golden eggs, and that he could use that for his money for his family. Jack sold the cow for beans. His mom was so angry that she threw him out the window, and the next morning a giant beanstalk grew. Jack, as a curious boy, climbed up the beanstalk and went up and saw that it was a giant's castle. In there he found out that there was a chicken that laid golden eggs. The chicken laid a golden egg, and Jack thought, what a wonderful opportunity. This would be great for his family. So he took the egg and tried to escape. He then jumped down the beanstalk, but the giant was after him, and he didn't know if it was going to be fast enough. So we need to come up with a plan to get Jack to escape. We are going to develop a parachute for Jack to escape the giant just a little bit faster. Activity, we're going to be supplying you with a few things. We're going to have our tissue paper and newspaper. You could use a coffee filter or a piece of plain old copy paper. You will then need something to tie your parachute to. Here we have some yarn, or you can use some ribbon or some pipe cleaners like we have here. You're also going to need your army figure. You're going to need to find somewhere around the house, maybe a little army guy or a little Lego guy, and you're going to use him as your Jack, so that way you can tie him to your parachute. What we did here, we are also going to need something to attach our parachute. We're going to need some tape or stapler. The stapler was nice because it helped hold it in place, and then I used the tape to secure it. You will also need some scissors to be able to cut your string or your tape, or just make some alterations. Go ahead and assemble our parachute so we can get Jack away from the giant as fast as possible. I'm going to make mine out of a piece of newspaper. You can use whatever you would like. My choice is the newspaper. We're going to go ahead and cut some string, so it's a good amount based on what material you're going to use. If you're going to use a coffee filter, you might want to go shorter. We're going to then attach it. I used a stapler to help hold it in place. And you might have a parent to help you or not. And then you're going to want a piece of tape just to secure it, because that staple might not be in there. Or you can just have your parent or a friend help you with that, and just have you tape all of them, like Emily is doing here for me, Miss Knight Emily. We want to get Jack out as fast as we possibly can. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take all four corners and pull them together here, so it's kind of like a nice little balloon shape. We're going to want to then take it down towards the end. We want to make sure we have enough room at the end so we can tie our army figure at the bottom. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw in a little knot here. If you're having problems with this, you can go ahead and ask an adult to help. But we have a nice little knot here. Then we're going to choose our little army guy like I have here, and we're going to just tie this tight around his waist, or whatever shape he is. You might need to change it a little bit, but you want to secure him to there. Once you have him secured, we can test and see how well our parachute is going to be. So here is my little army guy, and we're going to go ahead and see how they go. We're going to be doing our bonus pack project. We are going to make flying dragons. So what we are going to need is you're going to need your printout. We're going to need that so you can cut and color that. You're going to need some glue or tape, whatever you have on hand. You're going to need some scissors and some kind of coloring utensil. We have markers here, but you could use crayons or colored pencils or whatever you have laying around the house. We are then going to color our dragon however you want it to be. Then we're going to cut it out, the wings and the dragon body. We're going to then want to fold along the dotted line here, just like this. So we're going to fold him completely in half, just like that. So we have him done like this. Then we're going to fold his body down, just kind of like a paper airplane, just like that. So our body is going to look like this. And there will be a little V here that you'll be able to hold. Once you have him folded, you are going to then take your wings and do the exact same thing. You're going to fold in the middle, so exactly in half. Then you're going to fold it down here, so we have a little V to hold. As you notice on our dragon, we have a spot that says glue. We are going to want to put our glue right in this area. And we're going to take our wings and we're going to glue them right in there so it lines up in that spot and the dotted lines all line up like that. Okay? We'll want to give it a few minutes to let it dry, but then we can fold it up and we can place our paper clips anywhere you want on the dragon. You're going to want to make sure that it's not pinching its body, but you're going to want to go ahead and put those anywhere like that, so that way you can fly them. You'll notice that if you put the paper clips in different parts of its body, it's going to fly a little bit different. So play around with that and have fun.
Thank you for joining us for day 1 of Imagination Camp Fairy Tales. We'll see you tomorrow for Roman and Greek mythology. Thank you from the Harris-Elmore and Genoa Libraries.